We're here today to pay our final respects, our kavod achron, to Brian Alea, Bas Avigdor Yaakov Halevi, to Mrs. Bani Ziman. As we stand here, and as the family just tore kriya, just tore their garments in this grief, I think that all of the family and all of us here have two broad chapters over which we are mourning. You know, in the Talmud Yerushalmi, in the Talmud it says that a child, when they tear over a parent, they tear ad shem megale es libo, they tear more than one garment if necessary. And the Talmud explains, because not only are they mourning over the loss of a dear relative, they're also mourning over the loss of kibbud av v'em. They're mourning over the loss of the opportunity to continue to do that mitzvah, the fifth commandment, to give honor to their parents. And standing here, as we all think about Bani, we think about the Bani whose smile and whose grace and whose goodness was a real presence in her active life. The Bani Ziman, who in our community we only got to know her when she came here with her family, with her growing beautiful family, was front and center, always there together with her husband, together with her family, with the community, enjoying with the community, and doing for the community, doing for each other. We think about the living family, the spirited, always with life, with a liveliness that is infectious, the family with just oodles and oodles of personality, and how they all were together, celebrating together, being together. Not always easy, even before this last period, difficult times, many times, but always with that spirit that continues in them until this day. That's one piece of the mourning. And another piece is the Ava'im, this last period, this significant period of a few years of unprecedented caring, of caring for Bani as she struggled so much, as she suffered so much, as her life was so compromised. In our parsha we read about how the Kohen Gadol carried the names of the Jewish people. He carried the names of the Jewish people on his shoulders, and he carried the names of the Jewish people on his heart. The Kohen Gadol was the model for us for both responsibility to take care of each other, to carry the burdens of one another physically on one's shoulders, being there day and night as needed, and carrying on the heart as well, which is not a physical act. Carrying on the heart is feeling it, is grieving, is caring even when it doesn't have the same channel for expression. I know, we all know, that for this period, this last difficult period, it was a difficult time to find meaning. But this family, the Ziman family, showed us in a great sense how to find meaning. If I may, I want to actually just read over something which I shared with our kehillah, with our community, with our shul, the shul that was a home for Bani and for which she and her family are really, really so much part of the family. So I shared on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. We were talking about a proverb, a verse in Mishlei, which says, Rav Adam yikra ish chazdoi v'ish emunim miyimtza. Maral interprets, translates this verse as saying there are many people, many people who do kindness with others. V'ish emunim miyimtza. But it is rare to find someone who you can rely upon, who's always there, who's not just there to offer a rare kindness, but who's there through thick and thin. I will choose one story that will be the safest, as is the story of a very dear member of our kehillah, of our community, who has not been around much for the past few months, and is not here today to be embarrassed by it. Binyamin spent Rosh Hashanah at his wife's bedside. Many of you know him and love him. For a couple of years before that, his wife had hardly been around. Many of you know her and love her. And many of you know and love their children. I'm speaking about Binyamin and Bani Ziman and their children, Rachel, Chaim, and Devorah. Bani has dealt with a number of medical conditions over the years, always supported by her dedicated husband, Binyamin. It was never easy for her, nor for him, but they have always been there for each other. Many of us know and love Binyamin. He is, bli ayin hara, full of life and energy. In the shul, he's the first to jump up to greet someone, to fix something, to make sure the davening and the trains run on time. He's always ready to break out in song or dance. It's exceptionally challenging for a person like that, someone who thrives on social stimulation and energy, to cope with the chronic and serious illness of a family member. But he has, and he does. A couple of years ago, Bani's health deteriorated to a point where she could only be properly cared for in a dedicated nursing facility. She moved there and her family was always there with her, with regular visits and more. A few months ago, she deteriorated further as a result of a number of complications from necessary medical procedures. Her life hung by a thread throughout. Her husband and children have been by her side. Binyamin's dedication is incredible, and he and Rachel have literally mobilized the troops, with the help of the Jewish Caring Network and others, such that someone, a family member, friend, or community member, is always at Bani's bedside in the hospital. He is an ish emunim, someone to rely upon. Each of those children have that same title, people to be relied upon. On Bani's bed there's a printed photo pillowcase adorned with pictures of a handsome young couple starting off their life together with beautiful, radiant smiles. This was likely not what they had in mind as they were posing for those pictures. They did not expect those pictures to decorate a room in Sinai's ICU for weeks on end, weeks when it was near impossible for one of them to smile and for the other not to cry. But that makes no difference to the ish emunim, to the faithful and reliable husband. The commitment is there, even if it is painfully difficult. Rabbeinu Bachya writes about a minhag, a custom that was there in his time, that when it came this time for people, they would have their dining room table cut up and formed into the casket, into the coffin, so that when they would go before the Ribbono Shel Olam, when they would go before God, they would say, you know, here's my table. This is the table around which I took care of my family. This is my table around which we welcomed guests. We welcomed people who needed a hand. This morning, Rachel handed me what will not go in the casket, but it's part of the tribute of this family, the books that So many people here, especially on this side of the room, recognize the guest books that were in Bonnie's room in the hospital, that were in Bonnie's room in Levendale for years. Please write a happy note to Bonnie. Thank you so much. Several books filled with notes from the dozens, maybe hundreds, of visitors, of friends, of family. We don't know the meaning of such a difficult end to life, but we know the meaning of all that she brought out in you, that she brought out in others. In a world where life, certainly compromised life, is cheap, you taught us how to cherish and how to take care of a loved one at any time and every time. Your love for your wife, your love for your mother, your love for your sister, for your daughter, your love for your friend, for the wife of your friend, for the mother of your friend. Binyamin has an expression which he says to me, to others, very often at the end of a nice Shabbos, at the end of a nice Yantiv, an enjoyable shir. He says, thanks for the inspiration. Rebbe, thanks for the inspiration. Binyamin and family, thanks for the inspiration. You tear two kriyos, one over the beloved, wonderful, wonderful mother, the wonderful, sweet person, and one for all that you've invested and all that you've given over all of this time.